Back to another tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to start building the backend to our site. It's going to be a custom admin. This tutorial, we're actually going to build a form where we can post our blog posts from it. We're not going to secure our backend until we've completely built up the backend, but we're going to do it in steps. So this one's just going to be focusing on the posting blog posts. Then we'll go from there. So first things first, we need to create a post form. So let's go ahead and do that. So in our forms.py file, let's open that up. Let's create a new form in here. And what we want to do is we're going to do class post form. And then in there it's going to be forms.model form. Alright. And we'll give it a class of meta, just like we did above. And we'll say model is equal to post, capital P. Hit return, oh, not post form. Hit return, and then we're going to say fields. Alright. We'll do title. We'll do slug. We're going to have to change slug out, but I'm going to show you guys why we have to do that. Content. Category, SEO, title, alright, and SEO description, oops, SEO description. This has got to be in a string format, so you just highlight it and put quotes around it. There we go. And then we also need something for status. Same thing, string status. Alright, we'll go ahead and save it. Alright, so that's all the fields we want to include in our post form. Alright, so next thing we want to move on to, check my notes here because I did make notes this time. I need to slide this up. Hold on. There we go. Now we're going to create a new HTML file. So let's do that. We're going to create a new folder first off. So click on blog. In there, we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it Backend. This will hold all our custom admin files. So we'll create Backend. And I don't know where Backend went. Where did it go? That was weird. Where the hell did it go? Oh, there it is. Ah, interesting. Alright, taking longer than I expected. Now we're going to create a new file in there, and we'll call it, save it, and we'll call it new post underscore, or new underscore post dot HTML. New underscore post dot HTML. And we'll go ahead and save that. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and just set this up the way we did before. So first things first, we're going to extend the base HTML. So percentage symbols extends with an S. And then in here, we're going to do blog backslash base .html. Oops. Alright. And then down here we'll do block content. And end that block. Cool. Now in here we're gonna have h1 tag, and we're gonna say post new post. And then we're going to create a form. So form method is equal to string capital post class equals post hyphen form. And then out here we need our CSRF token, as I showed you in a previous tutorial. So CSRF underscore token. There we go. And we'll close out our form. Now, we're going to use crispy forms like we did with our previous form, so we need to go ahead and load that. So let's do that. So in here we'll put the load tag, so load crispy underscore forms underscore tags. And down here inside the form we're going to load crispy, so put a variable crispy, and then the pipe symbol, and oh no, sorry, form pipe symbol crispy. A little dyslexia there. Alright, so we created our form. Cool. Now we need to create a new URL, so let's do that. Let me close out some of this crap that we got up here. I'm going to need views, so we'll create a new URL. And the new URL is going to be, gotta make sure we got a comma at the end of this one, comma, return, so we'll do URL, and then inside there it's going to be a raw string. Alright, then we're going to do a caret, there we go, and then we'll do post backslash new, and then another backslash, and then the dollar symbol, and then comma views dot new post underscore post, there we go, and then name is equal to new underscore post, there we go. Save that. So we're kind of working backwards from what we usually work, but I find this a little bit easier for creating forms and whatnot. So alright, so we got our URLs, and then now we're going to create a new view. It's all the way down at the bottom. I like to leave a comment down here because this is completely different than what we got going on up top. I'll just put a bunch of pound signs, and then I'll do backend, and then more back. And this is just the way I do it, so I can see it. Alright, so let's create our view, and our view is going to be very similar to what we created for the comments form. So just follow along here, and you'll notice it's pretty much the same. So we're going to define a new view, and we're called new underscore post, and it's going to take one argument as request. All right. Then we're going to do if request dot method. Oops, not how you spell method. Method is equal to post, capital post. We're going to do something. Alright, let me move this up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do form is equal to post form, which we probably should add that to the top. So once we're done here in a second, we'll go add that so this will work. So we need post form added up here. So if we go behind our forms, comma, capital P, post, and then form, we can add our form in so the view can get it. There we go, back down to the bottom. And let's go ahead and check if the form's valid. So we'll do if form dot is underscore valid. We're going to do something, and we're going to go post is equal to form dot save, and then we're not going to commit it to the database just yet, so we'll do commit false, and then we'll go down here and we'll do post dot author is equal to request dot user. Alright, so that's how we know whoever the user is creating the post, that's how we know who the author is. Alright, got it? Cool. And then we'll do post dot save. Alright, and then we're going to return and redirect the user back to the post after they created it. So with that being said, we'll do a redirect, and then we're going to do blog colon post in detail, and then comma, and then slug is equal to post dot, whoa, this shouldn't be in a string, sorry, thought it looked funny. Post is equal to post dot slug, there we go. So that's our redirect, and now we got to add an else statement down here. So I hit return, and we're going to do else. If it's not a request method, we're going to return the post itself. So we'll just do form is equal to post form. All right, And then we got to add our template. Template is equal to blog backend, and then new underscore post dot html, and then context, and this will take one variable and in a dictionary format, and it'll be form : form. Alright, save that, and we need to render something, so we'll return render, and we'll do request template context. Easy peasy. Alright, so that's basically, if you look at this, this is exactly the same as our comment form minus the author. Alright, we get comment post is equal to post, so we're getting the same exact post that the comment should be posted on. In this case, we're getting the author and or we're getting the user and returning them as the author of the blog post. Alright, so just the rest of it's the same, so it's pretty simple. One other thing we need to do is, I realized when I was working on this earlier today, post detail, we can actually see the posts that are set to draft. So we need to fix that. We don't want that to happen. So let's go and fix that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take context. I'm going to cut that out for a second, and I'm going to put that right under post. You'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Under context, we're going to say if post.status is equal to a string called published, do something. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tab template in, and we're going to return this template, and then we're going to take return render request context. We're going to copy this, put that guy right there. Alright, then I'm going to say else, if it is not set to published, if it's set to anything else, which the only thing it can be set to is draft at the moment, we'll say template is equal to blog /post preview. We're going to create a new file which will only preview only a user will be able to look at. Alright, so we'll tab this guy over so it's the same. Alright, so with that being said, let's go back into our templates, into post, and create a new file and call it post_preview.html. Alright, so let's do post_preview.html, save it there. And what I want you to do is go to post detail, and we're going to Command A, Command C, copy it all, paste it in here, and it's going to be the same for now. Alright, right now it's going to be the same. Anybody can view it because post preview has not been locked up for a password yet, so we'll do that shortly. But that's our ultimate goal, is if it's not, if we go back to our views, if it's not status published, then we want to go to preview, and we'll lock up preview, post preview, we'll lock up this view, so only a person that has signed in and has permission to can view this template. Otherwise, it's published to the public. Alright, so that's what we did there. So let's go ahead and just see where we're at. If you remember correctly, we did blog. What the heck did we call it? I gotta go back into yours because I don't remember. Post new. Alright, so we want to try to post a new one. So we go to post /new, hit return, and it says site cannot be reached. Post is not defined. Alright, go in your forms real quick, forms.py, and we need to import post. So we have access to the model, so we'll go ahead and save that. Wait for the server to catch up. we go. And now we'll go to /blog, /post, /new, and we'll load that page. Alright, so here's our new post form, and this is what's going to be in the back end. I did just realize we don't have a button to post it, so we'll go back in here, and we're going to have to add a button. So down here we're going to do button, then we'll do type is equal to submit, and then class is equal to btn hyphen success. So that's going to give us a green button in Bootstrap. Then we'll say save and button. There we go. So this should work now. Backend refresh. There we go. There's our save button. All right, now it will work. Now we're going to create a new post. We'll say this is a post from the back end. All right. Now I included slug for a reason. If you remember with author or in our admin section, it would create the slug when we wrote it out. Well, you could do that using JavaScript. But then I was thinking about it last night. There could be some security issues with that, using JavaScript in that way, letting the browser send it to us via JavaScript. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this around. But for now, I just want to show you what you can do with it without changing it around. You can handwrite out your own slug. So we can say backend. It would be something that you would want it to match this, but for now, simplicity's sake, we're just going to write it like that. And I'm going to say this is a new post. And down here, we're going to select our category. And right now, currently the way it's set up, we can only select categories. So we'll fix that in another tutorial. We got snippet or tutorials. I'm going to name it tutorials. Then we'll just say SEO, and we'll set it to published. Okay, and we'll save our post, and hopefully we don't get any errors. And we do. No reverse for post detail with arguments. Blog slug. What the hell? Alrighty. Why did we get that? Post detail with arguments. Let me see here. Alright, so I found our issue real quick here. It shouldn't be post, it should be slug here. Slug. There we go, because what it did was it was looking for post. Well, in our URL, so we called the variable slug right here. Alright, so go back and refresh. Actually, that might not work. Find out in a second. Come on. There we go. Alright, so when we saved it, we actually saved the slug as backend post, so we can't use that one again, so we'll say backend post 1, -1. There we go. Now save it, it should work this time. And you see it redirected us to our blog post. Alright, cool. Now, I don't like how slug is being handled within this post here, because like I said before, if we used the JavaScript to inject text in there, if someone wanted to do something malicious by adding something into someone's browser, they could do something like that. So that's one reason why I wouldn't want to use JavaScript there. But it's probably better to allow our models to go ahead and create the actual URL itself, because we really don't need to see the URL, because we will have access to it once it's saved. So let's go ahead and open up our models, and we're going to create a save function in our models. I don't have models open. Down here, we're going to create a save function, and this is going to take 3 arguments. So let's go ahead and put it right above get absolute URL in our post model. Let's put it here. Alright. So we're going to define a function, and we're going to call it save. And this is going to take 3 arguments. It's going to take self. Whoops. It's going to take args. And it's going to take keyword args. Keyword args. Just like that. Alright. Now, we're going to say self.slug equal to slugify. And this is a feature from Django itself. It slugifies, for this example, it's going to take title and create a slug out of it. So we'll say self.title. And I got this save code from Django itself. Now we're going to create a super. And then in here we're going to say post. So that's the model it's related to. And then we're going to say self. And then we're going to say dot save. And then we're going to put our args and our keyword args in here. Alright. So now what this function does is when we save the model, it's going to go ahead and create a new slug. So there's no need for us to write out the slug. Personally, I don't want to write out the slug. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So what it's going to do is create the slug for us. Alright. So that's our goal here. So let's go back into our forms.py, take out slug, say see you later slug, and we'll let the model handle that for us. Let's work on our part, and if you're creating this for a client, less work on their part, less phone calls you get. So let's go back to, let's create another slug. So, or another post. So we'll do post/new, open that up, and we'll create one more. And we'll say this is another post from Backend, and whatever, there's a bunch of crap in here. And then we'll create tutorials, SEO title, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and then status, published, saved. Name slugify is not. Forgot to import it. Damn. I was on a roll too. Go up to the top. Under reverse, we're going to do from Django dot template dot default filters import slugify. There we go. Now we'll go back and do this again. Sorry about that. Now what? Come on, reload. Alright. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Put on snippets. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Alright. And I saved it to a draft. So if we just saved it to a draft, this is our draft template. If you didn't notice, or it should be. How am I gonna know if this? Hold on. Let's see if this is our actual preview template. So let's add a piece of code in here so we can tell if it's. Let's add an alert from Bootstrap itself. So we'll do class is equal to alert danger, and oops, we need a role. It's equal to alert. Now I'm just showing this to make sure we are actually showing the proper one. Since I set it to default, it should not be displayed on the front end. Post preview div. Alright. And come back in here. If I refresh this, I should get the alert at the top of the page. Should. Yep, there we go. This is a post preview. Cool. And then if I go to blogs, I shouldn't see AFASA. Alright, cool. I don't see it. I do have 2 posts because we did save 2 posts by accident. But anyhow, we have 2 posts the same. We will maybe fix that with code later on, so you can't do that. But anyhow, we do have now our awesome post /new backend for the user to post their blog post. Next tutorial will upgrade our category probably, but I'm going away for a couple days, so it's going to be a couple days before we do another tutorial, so I may change my mind. Otherwise, you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you when I